Thank you for being with us. You are with us live with two special guests, SEIZ and SHAN. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for hosting.
All right, so we are here live, and we're here talking with two amazing artists who have an upcoming exhibit, Connected. It's taking place here in Pilsen, August 18th through the 25th, curated by Tras. You may remember that we had Tras here on our show a few seasons back. Unfortunately, that segment, we had some issues with the recording, so if you missed it, you really missed it. That stinks. But I know Tras and I have been talking about bringing him back, so hopefully we will be able to bring him back next season. This season is full of amazing guests, but that's enough about that. Let's talk about you guys. Why don't we get started and talk about you guys as individual artists, a little bit more about like your backgrounds individually, and then how you guys came together. We'll start with Shan, ladies first.
Hi. Well, I don't know, I've drawn since I was like in second grade, but I didn't really start painting until I started doing graffiti when I was like 20. And once I started doing graffiti, then I started painting on canvas as well, and it just kind of propelled everything forward.
Beautiful. SEIZ?
Yeah, I started painting at a pretty young age on canvas. My father also paints. Didn't really pick it up much from there, didn't really take it too serious throughout school. But towards high school, once I started getting more serious into skateboarding, a lot of my friends painted graffiti, so we would come out to the city more often once we did start skateboarding and taking the South Shore downtown. And that's what really opened the door for me, was just being around everybody else who also wrote.
Nice. So you guys come from a graffiti crew in Indiana, and you guys are putting the show together, Connected, and you come together with Tras, SEIZ. Can you talk to us about Connected? Can you guys talk to us more about Connected?
Sure. It's our gallery show. It'll be our largest to date. We've done pop-up galleries that I've hosted in the past. We've done crew galleries with us and other friends, and even like galleries for Meeting of Styles, and other events, even one for our 30th year anniversary, which was down at the Indianapolis Museum of Art. But for myself and Shannon, this would be the largest for us two. So we've been working, I'd say, the past 2 years probably on most of the pieces. There's a few pieces that might date prior to then, but most of the pieces are new for the past 2 years. And we're pretty excited to unveil all these new pieces.
Yay! We're excited too. I saw a bunch of them and they're so cool. So you guys need to go to the show. I know I'm going to be there for sure. So we did have some of the pieces to share with you guys. I'm not just bragging. I was actually going to share them with you, but unfortunately we can't share them all. So you guys really have to go to the show. Can we show the flyer for Connected so the people at home can take these details down? And you could also visit our website and connect with us on Instagram and check out the flyer there too. Imani, can you take us to the Connected? I think she's looking for it. And then SEIZ, you're also an MC, right? You also dip into that element. You're a producer and you're a rapper, is that right?
Correct. Yeah, I mainly play bass guitar is how it started, but then I ventured off into producing mainly with bass guitar and then an MPC and then rapping as well.
All right. Beautiful. So here is the information for Connected. Make sure that you guys come through, support. There's the opening and there's also a closing reception. So thank you so much. Now, if we can go ahead and take a break, we're going to take a little music break. I know we just started, but you know what? It's Tuesday. It's in the evening. Hopefully you enjoy the great weather. And let's listen to this piece by SEIZ. What is it called again?
Patience and Practice.
Patience and Practice. We've been talking about knowledge, the fifth element of hip-hop, and this carries a lot of knowledge. It's a great song.
Life's about patience and practice, sleeping me like a quality mattress, blatant in tactics. Cut from my own cloth, encasing the fabric, ain't for the average. Tough to constantly manage, rough anxiety damage, ain't for the canvas. Triple X, or should take dosage of Xanax. Really hope it never comes down to it. Try to keep it neutral, try to keep it fluid. Stay balanced, keep it congruent. All up in the pocket, never try to lose it. I ain't the one making miracles, just a man who's grown spiritual. Harmonious and so literal, both in the scriptures and in the visuals. Just another individual who wants more than the minimal. A step above, living miserable. Call it what you want, trying to be atypical. Just another individual who wants more than the minimal. A step above, living miserable. Call it what you want, trying to be atypical. Life is divided in fractions, always in action. Social media blasting, trying to cash in above the low life, but never high classing. Satisfaction is the death of desire. Everlasting is the breath of the fire. Demons lurking, always ready to conspire. Ain't God we trust, this money's the Messiah. We do it all to the death of it, amen. To the depth of it, always in the deficit. Check for change up in the crevices, as if the actions are benevolent. To appear with devotion, insightful, with a mind that is open. This is larger than oceans. Adjust the aperture with steady focus. Just another individual who wants more than the minimal. A step above, living miserable. Call it what you want, trying to be atypical. Just another individual who wants more than the minimal. A step above, living miserable. Call it what you want, trying to be atypical.
Thank you guys. That was awesome. We couldn't hear as much as you could hear, but we heard it obviously before. See, do you want to talk to us about that song when you wrote it and the cover? That was awesome. Obviously, it was an original cover.
Thanks. Yeah, really, it's just basically what the title is, Patience and Practice. It takes a ton of practice to get good at something. It's easy to get discouraged. There's always a lot of obstacles in your way, and it's really just about how to get there, whether it's dealing with anxiety or, social pressures or, whatever it might be, a job that might get you down. You just have to keep striving forward to, be successful in your own way that you want to see. So that's what the song's about, and it really reflects on the album itself.
Yeah, it really does. Everything that you just said touches on probably everybody's struggles. Anxiety, trying to push through social struggles. We deal with social media. So we try to take the positivity of those elements and push them through, and that's what we're doing today. We're pushing our community forward. We're celebrating you guys as artists, as international artists, as very skillful artists, and also as a couple. We congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
May I?
Yeah.
May I? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
They are engaged, which means that they will continue to join in union and share this beautiful passion forever and ever, practicing that fifth element to the core. So that's super, super, super dope. Recently, there was the Midwest or the Heavy Hitters, the event that was put together recently by Catch Creatives.
Catch Track
Creatives, thank you. And we saw you guys' work. We saw your work. I remember seeing that, and that was so beautiful. You guys are also international artists, right? Do you want to talk to us about your trips and what that's been like for you guys?
Yeah, so we got a passport only about 2 years ago, because we used to just, let's go back to Puerto Rico, and then we're like, we got to see somewhere else, just because we didn't need a passport to go there. And yeah, so we went to Spain, Portugal, France, Iceland, Mexico, Cancun. Yeah, and we just are like, where's next? Where next? And it's really cool to network and meet all these artists from all over, you know. It's really eye-opening. So many amazing artists.
That's so beautiful. Elaborate more on your experiences in these places and your painting experiences. You guys recently did Miami Art Basel last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun. And then our last trip, we went to a festival, a graffiti fest in France called Lords in the West. And that was really cool to meet all these awesome French artists.
Have you guys noticed a difference in style looking here? I mean, coming from Chicago style, you're traveling all over the world, meeting all of these artists, and you're practicing graffiti in all of these other places. You feel like you're taking the Chicago style to these places. And are you able to differentiate like their styles, or like what's that been like for you guys? I'm speculating.
I do feel like we have probably a Midwest style.
Yeah, and I would say the main difference between out there and here is I believe the communities out there might be a little bit closer when it comes to the cohesiveness on some of their pieces. It's pretty cool to see. A lot of times in Chicago, or even out in Northwest Indiana by us, we kind of come with a game plan, but we kind of freestyle it, and it seems like they're a little bit more scripted where everything has to be in this exact place and everything. I'd say that's pretty rad to see that out there.
Yeah, after going to that, I was like, I need to go home and just sketch. I really need to practice, yeah.
Inspiring.
Yeah,
Becoming
definitely.
inspired.
Yeah, everyone comes really correct.
Yeah, and you guys too, you know, so what's the future? What's the plans? You guys have this exhibit coming up. What else is coming up? What else are you guys doing? You're producing, you're making your music.
Yeah, I probably won't release another album for a little bit just to catch up on some other things, but
He has a lot of hobbies.
yeah, we'll probably do this gallery show and then possibly look to doing one in Northwest Indiana shortly after if we can kind of expand and do a similar gallery but there back home. We wanted to do it as an introduction to Chicago first, just because a lot of our friends and this is kind of where we grew up painting, but we'd like to do one back home as well, Northwest Indiana possibly next year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think to just push to, you know, go to more international festivals, meet more artists, you know, from all over. It's really cool.
Beautiful. It's really nice watching you guys grow. Can we have a sample of one of their artworks, Imani? Or a few of their artworks, all right? Thank you for trying to help making this work. You guys want to talk to us a little bit about these work samples that we're looking at the screen?
Well, the bottom right one was Miami Art Basel with the Few and Far women out there. It's a really cool event. Yeah, there was like 60 women putting together murals
That's
out there with the
beautiful.
Few and Far women. It was really cool. People came from all over the place.
Look at those palm trees. That's so sick. Love that. That's gorgeous. And let's talk about the piece right above it, which is also super unique.
Oh yeah, so that's like a rail spike lid that I found near like a train yard, and I
Love
picked it up. I was like, ooh, it's rusty. Love rust. And I don't know, I had it for like a year or two, and then I'm like, you know what, I need to paint this. And then I made a little fence. I like kind of doing a little bit of miniature model making, I guess.
Is this a miniature piece?
I like handmade the fence. Like I made the posts and everything, and I had like mesh that I put over it, and then I put like some like moss and little rocks, and then I actually just painted the train in the background.
That's super cool. What are we looking at on the left side of the screen?
That piece actually I sold to Traz. That is like a hand-built train that I made out of wood and MDF board. It has like maybe 3 different layers to it, and it is in like a frame that I found at a thrift store, and I also like made like rocks out of clay, and there's some moss, and yeah, try to give a whole sunset vibe to it.
Oh my god, you guys have to go to the show because I don't think that these photos like justify these works and the amount of love that they put into them. So thank you guys
Thank you.
for putting this together. Let's talk more about Connected. Because I know I read the proposal and there was so much love in there. So let's talk a lot more about what that means to you guys and where this idea came from.
Sure. Yeah, the idea really came from just us kind of brainstorming ideas for the gallery name and what it would mean to, put our first official show where it's up for an entire week with an opening and closing ceremony and, something that would show that we're kind of working together but separately on our own paths, yet at the same time representing the crews that we represent and even just the Midwest style and Chicago style in general. So that's kind of where the term Connected came about, just us being connected together, connected to our crewmates, and connected to the city and even just the Midwest in general, and being able to expand that to, national level through various friends and traveling and things like that, which is the idea behind Connected is that all of us are technically connected in one way or another. But yeah, that was the basic idea.
Beautiful. That's hip hop. Staying connected. Yeah. So, when I was reading the proposal, one of the concepts that you guys talked about was your backgrounds. Mm-hmm. How you guys have unique backgrounds and how hip hop brought your love, your passions together. How it united you guys, which is kind of like what you're saying. What connected you guys. Can you guys talk about those differences and how you're able to connect them, like with your cultures?
Yeah, I think we just both found graffiti kind of through different ways, through different channels, and it is pretty similar to the age we probably found them at, because both of us were pretty late. I didn't start writing until I was about 17-ish, maybe even 16 at the very, very earliest, and her as well, around
it was
18.
like, I started 2009, you started like 2010, right?
Yeah, right around there. So we both were pretty late into it versus a lot of our friends and stuff that probably started writing when they were early teens. So that was pretty similar. But yeah, I grew up in Northwest Indiana, East Chicago, Hammond, Indiana area. Go ahead if you want to say.
Yeah, and I grew up in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, and I was never really exposed to graffiti until I moved to Chicago for school. And then I'm riding the train and I'm like, wow, what is this? This is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, and then just meeting people and then just, I don't know, a marker just fell into my hand basically. And
yeah, and that's really where it comes from. Just different backgrounds, but we ended up in the same place, same time, and kind of figured it out and kind of built upon that from there. And here we are today with about a week away from our opening gallery show.
That's so exciting. So the gallery is here in Pilsen, APO Gallery. You guys have that information. August 18th. Right now we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. Everybody's celebrating that. In Chicago, celebrating 20 years of it being the National Heritage Hip Hop Month, which was last month. Thank you to Amina Hawkins. For everybody that is in Chicago, and if you are watching, please, please, please go out and support the Hip Hop Museum, Artistics Hip Hop Museum. I believe that we have his information. Definitely we have his interviews on our website with more of his information as well. So please, want to go out and support that. August 8th, today's August 8th. August 11th is the actual hip hop day that's recognized for DJ Kool Herc when they had the block parties. So we'll talk a little bit more about that next week with our very special guest, surprise guest. I can't tell you guys. Nobody knows. I'm really excited, and so is our guest. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. So we're gonna end a little bit. We're gonna share our favorite song, our favorite hip hop song, your favorite hip hop song that you guys picked. But before we get to that, let's talk about your guys's. What's your definition of hip hop, and what does knowledge mean to you? Sorry, I know that's a big answer. Okay, well, what does hip hop mean to you, or why is it important to you? Which I think you guys have just been covering about meeting each other. But if you want to leave any words of wisdom to the audience about, I don't know, what hip hop means to you.
I mean, it's just all about the community. It's supposed to be each one teach one. Mm-hmm. Just everyone coming together, yeah.
I would say it means a lot to find yourself within a group of people that are like-minded, and it's really important, and to be within a culture who cares about each other and enjoys teaching each other, and where you can find individuality a lot too, though, through your style or through whatever you're making, whether it's music or writing or producing. I think that would probably how I would define it.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
definitely.
I love how you said that, like teach one. What did you say? Teach one?
Each one teach one.
Each one teach one.
Supposed to
Like,
pass down the knowledge, yeah.
We all have our strengths, and putting them together, seeing productions. I think that that's what I was obsessed with when I would see the productions come together. It was really beautiful. It's not the same when you just see individual pieces as when you see a full blown production that feels like you could live in it.
Yeah, it's really cool when there's one theme, but to see how everyone did the one theme to bring it all together.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Really cool.
Well, we are excited about your show. We're excited to watch you guys grow together. Preserve your love, preserve hip hop. Keep doing your thing. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna leave you guys with Odyssey. What is it called again? You picked the song.
I'm blanking out.
Try again by
Sorry.
Odyssey. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you guys stay in touch. SharingHisEnergyGallery.net. We have some cool stuff coming up. But again, next week we have our special guest. So we leave you with Odyssey. Thank you guys again.
Thanks for having us.
All this time you spent, all that love you gave, please don't walk away. Try again. Look those away. Don't break before you break. It's not too late to try again.
Couple wins, couple ills. Took a hit right up and failed. Now I got to just know how to flip it when I fail. Different when you listen to yourself. Not forgetting but forgiving. How you living is the wisdom in itself. Getting help. My intention and my callous never been in balance. It's a challenge when your talent come equipped with damage. Getting callous to what matters and you miss the pattern. How to manage your condition is the trick to catch it. How to handle what you giving is a different matter. Skip the magic, it don't happen overnight. You don't have to overwrite when it's saying how you didn't plan it. Understanding I ain't got it when I gave it all I had. Nothing missing in the math, put the vision in the path. I'm revisiting the past with a pen and pad. I'll be back.
I hope you try again. All this time you spent, all that love you gave, please don't walk away. Try again. Look away. Don't break before you break. It's not too late to try again.
Underdog since when I used to run a blog. I ain't soft, I could bend a hoop or run a claw. On the fog where I learned to view the sun is small. No sweat when you getting used to jumping walls. Back when I used to call instead of getting caught. I remember feeling lost, about to get a job. Selling tree in the mall, trying to trip a log. Had to ask if it costs ever getting caught. Change course, had to bang doors. Now them same doors got a man away.